Coming up this week on The Big Show, we chat about Amazon's new venture up in the skies, also Sony PlayStation 3 and their brand new Gran Turismo driving simulator you really have to see. We also talk about great gift ideas for this holiday season. All that and much more. Geek Gamer Weekly is next. Geek Gamer Weekly is brought to you by our very own Roku app for Geek Gamer TV. You can go back and watch the back catalog of Geek Gamer Weekly, Minecraft Me, our specials from PAX Prime, E3, and soon-to-be CES 2014. To grab that app today, go to ggtv.me/Roku. This is Geek Gamer Weekly, episode 248, recorded Sunday, December 1st, 2013. Amazon Prime Air. Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Geek Gamer Weekly. This is the Uber podcast for geeks and gamers, newly refreshed with you guys watching live if you're hanging out with us this Sunday evening at live.geekgamer.tv. If you tune in every Sunday evening, you can be a part of the experience by chatting in the chat room below. We also would take calls from time to time. Today, we'll be taking calls after the show because my cohort, Mr. Jace Rossi, that helps hammer down those kind of technicalities, is not with me today. So here we go. Let's introduce everybody. You know me. I'm Chase, and joining me is this gentleman here, all the way from Monroe. Did you even notice, John, the Santa over your right shoulder?
Yes, I saw them earlier, and because there was a Santa right here where I had to move stuff to set up my stuff.
Yeah, it's getting more and more festiveness here. How you doing over there?
Just ducky.
Great. Joining us as well from Oregon, our resident Apple expert and drone pilot, or unmanned. What's the official? What's the term you like to use, Joe, instead of drone?
I usually call them RC helicopters.
Our
RC
official
quadcopters.
Our official RC quadcopter pilot for Geek Gamer TV, Joseph Falby.
Go.
And joining us once again all the way from Canada, very, very far away from me. No, it's not that far away. It's about an hour and a half. But much farther to Winnipeg, Mr. Lloyd Hannison from VGPodcast.com. Hey, Lloyd.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me back.
And now it's time once again. I need music for this. The quad shot.
Oh.
Sorry, I was not excited about it. I know I should be, right? And speaking of quads, like quadcopters, Amazon today unveiled something very, very exciting called Prime Air. Well, we may not see this anytime soon, but their goal is to deliver packages to you in a half an hour. So from their distribution center to you, obviously you would have to be probably in a major metro area. But what we're going to do is we do have a neat little video that I want to show you guys. It is an advertisement, but it kind of goes to the proof of concept to show you how this could work. So check this out. That's it. There you go. I have a lot of problems with this.
They should have dubbed in some different sounds.
What kind of sounds would you dub in?
Like B-52 bomber sounds. It took off. Not the fact that it sounded like some turboprop or something trying to...
Joe, I got to start with you first. I mean, you are a resident pilot here. On the technical side of things, is there anything in that video or anything that we saw that would be dead wrong, that just would not work?
Technically?
Technically. First off, I want to go into technicalities before we get into legalities, but technicalities, anything wrong there?
Well, it's an octocopter, so it's got 8 sets of motors and 8 blades, and technically they work fine. There are many out there, and I'm sure that the one that they're showing works just great.
Yeah.
It looks like it has a GPS antenna on the top, which is appropriate. It probably works fine with regards to that. Autonomous flight is not difficult. The big detractor on a lot of these multi-rotors, whether they're tris, quads, aux, 6, hexacopters, whatever, is the battery. 30 minutes of flight time is a pretty high estimate unless it's 80% battery. So you'd have to be delivering a really small package, or I suppose maybe a battery for a quad. You just deliver it empty. Right?
I mean, legally though, Joe, this is not going to happen anytime soon, though.
Technically, it's in the realm of feasibility if you live within a few miles of the distribution center and can't be bothered to drive down there and pick it up yourself. Legally, though, the FAA rules on multi-rotors and this sort of autonomous flight is blurry at best. Right now, there's some guidelines that aren't official laws, but what it really comes down to is you can't use any of these. You can't use autonomous planes privately or commercially for a profit purpose. And that's the way it's been for a long time. Otherwise, so actually, a great example is all these places where you see people using these video-based helicopters and stuff like that inside the United States. They're actually breaking the law. And there was one guy who was fined $20,000 and had all of his stuff taken away because he was using it for that.
Wow.
So it is very illegal to use it for a commercial purpose. A lot of people do it anyway, and they ignore that, or they say they're not doing that part of it is free and the rest of the service is what they're being charged for. But the FAA's rules are actually really clear on that's not okay. Now, the FAA is anticipated to rewrite the rules. Are going to change how some of those are working in 2015, which is still a couple of years away. I mean, last I checked.
So, obviously right now, I think a lot of people are very, very sensitive when it comes to privacy. They also have their own opinions about unmanned aerial devices and drones, as a lot of people like to call them. Now, I'm always interested to find out what our neighbors to the north think about these kind of things, because they tend to be like Switzerland. They remain neutral. Lloyd, I'm talking to you down there. Hey, you.
Sure.
Hey. So, what do you think, man? I mean, obviously, maybe you live out in the back 40, and you want to have a shovel
Nothing
delivered.
Tundra and igloos as far as the eye can see. So ever since playing the game Dune 2 on my PC, my old 486, I wanted to call in an order and have a tank delivered by air, just land right at my doorstep. So I mean, if this gets me closer to that future, I'm all for it. Seriously though, it would be really cool. Our deliveries up here from Amazon are pretty terrible compared to your deliveries in the States. If we could get something that even just speeds up our deliveries up here just a little bit, that would be great. Whether it's a UAV type thing or just opening more places, which would probably be the easiest thing for Amazon to do. That would be great. I mean, I guess Amazon wants the future to be everything on this planet that is ordered from a computer is basically fulfilled by them, and they're going to try all these wacky, crazy ideas until something sticks and gets us to that future.
Is this really, though, gents? Is this really that far fetched? I mean, something like this happening in the short term future. I know our good friend Jay Huckabee in the chat room was saying 20 years from now, this is probably going to be normal practice. Little things flying all over the skies, delivering things, and making lives easier. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Chris Fisher, over at Jupiter Broadcasting, and we're saying, yeah, we're going to have pizza being delivered by drone right to our window. It's going to be great. But what I want to know is, yes, they can put GPS coordinates in. Are they going to require the person getting the product to go out with a GPS, like with their phone, and say, all right, we need to know a good landing spot with a 3-foot radius clear of items, and you need to give us the coordinates. And if it so happens to crash on your property, that you're going to have to pay for a brand new one. There's so many, unanswered questions here. I guess it's kind of fun to see, but John Kessler, is this the future of online delivery? Is unmanned aerial flight?
It'd be interesting if you had your Amazon map on your phone and you say, deliver it. So you're
deliver
standing,
me.
Deliver it to me. And it grabs the GPS off your phone, and there's your coordinates, and comes in.
But there's a problem with that inherently as well. Is GPS with a cell phone? While yes, it can get accurate, it can sometimes be off, right, by a good 50, 100, 200 feet.
Well, you just go out to the closest ball field and stand on the ball field.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Around going, here it comes down with it.
That's another problem, right? What if somebody, you got 40,000 people at a ball game and they all try to order from Amazon drone, right?
Cheap beer.
They all converge.
Yes, seat 42 on the upper levels. Please.
I don't know. I think the next level in delivery could be, vehicles and getting it to you quickly. The problem here, Joe, is I think, like you said, there's a limit to the payload, right? And distance because of battery concerns.
Oh yeah, battery concerns and payload. I think this sort of tech is maybe in the realm of feasibility. Say if you right now you have a courier service and you have something that needs to be delivered on a very, very short notice in a relatively short distance, I can see that as being a possible use for these. But I don't think we're going to see them in general use very much. They're too expensive. There's too many questions about, like you said, landing spaces. It can be an issue, although there's some tech to avoid some of those problems too. But there's also a big cost question. Is it really worthwhile to try to do this for small things? So like I said, courier service, lawyer's office who needs to transfer paperwork back and forth, real documents back and forth really quickly. I can see this working for them. But for the average person, we're probably rarely ever going to see or use something like this.
All they got to do, Joe, is they attach a little parachute to the goods. So they just hover over your house, and they just let it go, and just float down to the ground. You pick it up. It'll work.
They could always.
I think the delivery part of it is a very minor concern. It's all of the other things that and really, like I said, cost and battery is I think the bigger issues. That's why I think it'll be a while before we see this sort of tech anywhere but in high-end offices and stuff like that.
Well, they just swap the battery out every delivery. There's got a big charging station with a row of batteries. Guy just pops the top up, hinges the top open, pops battery out, pop a new one, close it, and off it goes.
Yeah, that'll be reliable. Everybody who subscribes to Amazon Prime Air has to keep a battery charger at home so they can swap out the battery when it lands in front.
At the distribution center.
Yeah. I could see this used with if Amazon is opening up a different sort of distribution center methodology. So they could rent small little units on the top of a building or something, and you would order something. It would be flown to this building by the drone, not to your individual house, just because kids could be playing baseball in the back lane and accidentally hit it multiple times with a bat as it's flying down towards your house. But the reality, I don't see that happening, but who knows? Anything that gets stuff to us quicker is a good thing. But I think this one might be a little bit of a stretch, unfortunately.
Yes.
I don't think UPS and FedEx need to be all that concerned about it at this point.
No, probably not. No, actually, it's the USPS should be really worried about it. All right. I wanted to tell everybody real quick, in case you're wondering. I'm sorry, I'm always pointing the wrong way. What the space is all about? That's over there.
The space.
That's space. Just want to remind you, you can send an email to weekly@geekgamer.tv, and if you are a company or if you have a product or a brand or a Twitter that you want people to follow If you want to answer on this, you advertise on the show, you can. You can rent out this space. The space is for rent, as they say. So weekly at Geek Gamer TV, if you'd like more information about that. So let's move on to the next story, and that is PlayStation. Now, PlayStation 4 had a relatively-ish, smoothish start with the new console, the PS4, and yeah, some people had issues getting online, and over the weekend there's been some problems with people trying to redeem codes because they had a sale on Amazon. But we're not talking about that. No. We're going to talk about Gran Turismo 6. And 6 is coming up very, very soon. And I don't know why, but Europe gets some of the coolest things. Only in Europe, there will be a contest that will dole out these racing pods, these circular things over here on the left. Can someone tell me... So it's a 40-inch TV, a Thrustmaster steering wheel, and a racing seat. You also get a PS3 system, a copy of Gran Turismo 6 Anniversary Edition, and 10 runners-up will only get the Anniversary Edition and a PlayStation 3. You don't get the pod. But they're giving 5 of these away. First question, very important question. Would you guys actually have room for one of these things in your living room? Where would you put this thing? That's a big thing.
Yeah, I got space.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Joe. Yeah, anybody wins it, we got to store it at Joe's house.
Can we talk about the other underlining major story? I think we were talking about this in the pre-show. Why is this PS3 only?
Because they got them for cheap.
No.
I think he means the game. Why is GT6 apparently PS3 only?
Yeah, why?
Because they've been working on it since 5.
Yeah, it's been in development for a long time.
It has been.
That's the only.
Yeah, but
it and they do say that it will be out for PS4 eventually.
Sure.
Just not for a while.
They'll call that 7.
Yeah, Gran Turismo 7 Special Edition.
Yeah, GT7 coming out for PS4 in 2014 is what they say officially.
Right.
I heard an interview where they said they didn't want to force people to wait to get their game. They wanted to release it when it's ready, which if you know anything about the Gran Turismo series, you should be laughing really loud right now.
Yes, that's true.
The games, you're always waiting for them. They take forever. Like the last Gran Turismo was just a demo on your PlayStation 3 for years before it was actually a shipped product. I found that kind of laughable. So I don't know. It's really weird. Microsoft did some similar things though, and I guess every manufacturer of a new console does that. They want to get some serious good products coming out for their console just at the switch over to the new generation. But I'm surprised that Gran Turismo is one of those. Usually, it's a driving game that kind of pushes the tech on a new piece of hardware.
Well, it's either a driving game or a first-person shooter. Or maybe a sports title if you're in, like FIFA has been very popular on both next-gen consoles.
It'd be really cool if you could take that thing and make it so it rotates the nose up and down, and then do that with the flight sim.
You know what this thing reminds me of? This reminds me of, do you guys remember the, Afterburner arcade console? That actually had the full motion seat that would rock up and down. Do you guys remember that at all?
Yep.
God, that's what this thing reminds me of. Actually, it'd be nice if the black plastic pieces in the front and back detach, and then you just start rolling in your living room in circles and stuff. I mean, this thing's really, really cool, but obviously it's just a big promotional thing, right? I mean, talking about promotional things, we're going to get into that, but that's all this is just one big advertisement for Gran Turismo.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But why just for Europe? Why? That's what I don't get. And maybe one of you guys can explain this to me.
Well, GT is really, really big in Europe. I mean, it is a really popular title over there.
Yeah, but it's big here too. It's big in Japan.
Yeah, but the guy who got me into it is from Scotland, and he bought a PS2 specifically for Gran Turismo. So I don't know. I mean, it's, and maybe this company selling these game pods anywhere outside of Europe? Maybe it's a European only company that's making these things.
That I don't know.
I was gonna say shipping. If they're built over there, they're not gonna want to try to ship. It's not going to be cost effective for them to ship one.
No,
to the US.
they'll be built here, and then we'll ship them over there. That's what
they're probably they're going to be built in China and shipped to wherever they end.
Yeah, so it's the import laws from China to Europe different from.
You know, somebody in the U.S. though is probably going to try to import one of these. You know, I mean, because there's going to be 5 winners, right? So.
Oh yeah, and some of those are gonna. I mean, they're gonna end up on some sale site somewhere.
eBay. What would you pay for something like this?
I'm just digging a little bit further. Apparently, they're made in Dubai.
Wow, so they are shipping them.
Yeah, bizarre, and they're expensive. But I'll let you guys.
Somehow, it doesn't surprise me that that's made in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
How much would you pay for something like this, gents? 40-inch TV. Now the Thrustmaster wheel.
How much would we pay, or how much do we think they're worth?
Both.
I don't know, like $50.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh man! Wow.
No, I mean it's if it came with the screen, it came with a PS3. I don't understand that. If it came with the screen and it was comfortable, yeah, maybe.
I think you want it. I think you want it to come with the console, because if it doesn't, then I mean you don't want to have to unhook your console to plug it into this monstrosity. I mean, why would you want that? I mean, you want it
if the seat's comfortable enough, then especially if you can roll it back a little bit and recline, maybe, use it for
what I
everyday
see,
TV, right?
What I see from that circle is I see a fixed seat and a fixed circle. For those of you guys who may not know, I am 6'5". I would probably not fit into this thing very comfortably. I would have my knees up near my chin.
Yeah, it looks like it's a promo. It was only made to be kind of a promo item for Gran Turismo. The fact that they're giving some away, it just did they run out of places to use this as like a promotional vehicle? No pun intended. I don't know. It's bizarre. Apparently, if they're worth about $9,500. For just the big circular thing, you have to basically strap in your own television, your own racing wheel, and your own seating system. So I don't know. It's this weird made for retail promo item that they're giving away in a contest with all this stuff fitted in it.
You know what I see happening is a winner, probably 3 to 4 years down the road, tossing this into the dump. That's what I see happening. No offense, but.
Yeah.
I mean, someone gets like a stand-up cutout or arcade thing or whatever, and it's just awful. By the way, if you're obviously watching the video, the video version of our show, our good friend Jay Huckabee posted a picture. You can see it in the lower third on the chat of the chair and a surround sound screen. Now that's a
different system.
Yeah, that still looks very, very cool.
And he says that one, that particular one is about $13,000. I hope it includes the monitors at that price, but they do have a lower end model that they can be had for less than $15,000.
Obviously, this image is larger than life because it's having a hard time loading. Come on, it gave up. Oh no, there it goes. I'm on dial-up again. Don't you know?
Wow,
that is really, really bad. Anyway. So there you go. If you're a Gran Turismo fan and you really need something like this, first you can go to Dubai and get one made directly from the manufacturer, or just go to Europe and hopefully you can win one. They're giving away 5 of these. Not this chair.
No.
Even though
circle.
The circle chair. Now, in a few short weeks, Joe and John and Lloyd, I'm going to tell you because you're a good friend of the show, we're going to be flying to Vegas. We're going to CES. Now, John and I, we're flying on Southwest. I think, Joe, you're flying on Frontier. No, Alaska. But you might want to switch, Joe, just in case, because Southwest just recently gave away a whole bunch of Wii U consoles in cooperation with Nintendo on a flight. It was on flight 1883 from New Orleans to Dallas Love Field. Passengers were greeted upon arrival by Mario himself, who made a special announcement during the flight that everyone on board would receive the game system for free. And then no doubt they got a little coupon that they had to fill out for tax reasons. I'm just guessing about that part. So, is this the reason why I brought this story up? Is this Nintendo? Obviously, it worked here. Is this Nintendo trying to get back into the headlines because of the rough of the Black Friday holiday week? Because this story came out on the 27th, so just a few days ago. What do you guys think? I'm going to go to Lloyd first. He's a resident Nintendo guy because, as you could see, judging about his background, he hates Mario. He's putting the fist to you. Yeah, just move on.
Yes. Next.
I definitely it's Nintendo trying to get some form of press, considering that the other consoles were launching. It's good timing since Super Mario 3D World came out. It just seems to be fitting in with a lot of different events that are taking place in the Nintendo world.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd where this would be every person, all 83 of you get a console.
Well,
and let's take these pictures instead of doing like an Oprah-like thing where you get
a console.
Exactly.
And you get a console. Not like, you, John, but you get a console.
Go like Jimmy Fallon or something, and because they always have Reggie's always on Fallon doing the gaming stuff. And you can come say, hey, everybody gets a console with Mario and all this, and my body's ready, and all the other catchphrases that he tries to invent to make stick. That would seem to be a little more interesting. I don't know. It's a really bizarre thing, but we're talking about it, so I guess it worked.
Well, in case you didn't know now, Nintendo is the official... I can't believe this. They are now the official video game partner for Southwest Airlines. I had no idea that they actually had a video game partner slot, but they do. And they're going to be setting up Wii U gaming lounges at some of the airline's most heavily trafficked airports between now and December 22nd. The lounges are planned for Dallas Love Field, Chicago Midway, Denver, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and St. Louis. Up to 4 players can try their hand at each game kiosk at a time. Get this, for free.
Oh, wow.
That's weird they didn't include Phoenix, since Phoenix is their hub.
Well, I thought Dallas Love Field was their major hub, their main headquarter hub.
For Southwest?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Phoenix.
Is it Phoenix, really?
I thought so, yeah.
Well, maybe Phoenix is you know what it is, Joe? I figured out. Phoenix, they have their official game partner with another company. And the airport itself, their official partner is Atari.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Let's move on. I just killed everything. Hey, final story here, you guys, and then we'll get to the gift guide, our recommendations for gifts that you should be playing this holiday season. Microsoft was recently accused of being sexist. They had a form that you could go onto their website to help. This is to publicize the Xbox One, and it was kind of a Mad Lib style where you can fill it out and say, "Hey, I'm not sure if you heard, but the Xbox One is now available." That means this is like to a significant other. We can now start playing games like Forza. But I know you'd rather knit than watch me slay zombies. So the accusation here obviously was this ad was deemed sexist against women and played to those stereotypes that men are the guys who play games and women take care of the kids and take care of the household. I'm not saying this, you guys. I'm saying that the people that are going against these letters are feeling that way. Microsoft did say that they're going to go ahead and change how some of the things could be generated that way. That was not their intention. Of course they're going to say that. They don't, I don't think this was intentional. But how do you feel about this, Mr. Joe? I mean, is this just a mistake, or is this one of those Freudian things where, they are playing into those stereotypes?
Well, my guess is whoever wrote it didn't really consider any side. They were just like, hey, this is a cool thing. Look, we figured out how to make words change in a document and just threw it together. They are saying their big defense to it is that you can replace the big thing that they didn't like was the knit line. That was what the the groups apparently were
Hey,
negative.
men
over
knit too. Okay, I don't know why. See, that's just sexism, reverse sexism, because men can knit.
Anyone can knit.
I mean, we can talk on Skype with your favorite sister. That could be, what's up, my sister? Like to John, I say that all the time.
Yeah, but anyway,
Wrong.
The big offense, they had was to the knitting line, which apparently was just a default that you can change to whatever you want or change to several other things. But yeah, it was just somebody not thinking about it, and at this point, it's just giving them more press talking about it.
Is this? Honestly. Yeah, I mean, is this though? Are we just being too sensitive here? Well, I should ask her.
That's crazy. That's crazy talk. You think that people who react this way to things like this are oversensitive? Nah.
I mean, Lloyd. I mean, Canadians. You guys are a rugged breed. I mean, you guys don't get. You're not. I mean, you guys are straight up, right? So you're not offended by this at all.
Personally, I'm not. I know a lot of people were. Like I was.
Wow, really?
When this went live, my Twitter exploded, and I read it, and I kind of chuckled a little bit. More so the fact that Microsoft continues to put out bad messages that get them in trouble. Like you'd think that they would have like 7 PR teams like checking each other's work before they approve something to go out, like purposely putting something sexist in it. And the wording of this letter is more like, hey, honey, I know you're going to be mad if I come home with this. So how about I show you all the stuff that we can do with it? And you can watch your programs while I watch football and play games and kill zombies. Like the whole wording of it was very, I don't know, kind of sexist, and it was almost like, hey honey, buy this for me so I can play my games type thing. It was just really bizarre. Like just the message was just odd.
Well, it's also sad though that meaningful couples and relationships that men have to be afraid to play games and women have to come down on guys to say, oh, you're playing with your toys again. Things. I mean, that happens a lot.
That raises another good point too, though, is why is it unacceptable for the husband in a relationship to buy something like this that they might want and use, but at the same time the spouse or the wife would be going out and talking about how they wanted that pair of shoes? Or I mean, I know it's overgeneralizing, but it's the same sort of thing, right? It goes both ways.
Yeah, I mean, here we are. I mean, it's very hard for us to speak. Obviously, we don't have a woman on the panel, and
go get your wife. See if she'll come in and talk about it. See how she feels. Yeah, she'll probably be like, I don't care. Do whatever you want. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. No, it's really tough because but there's also the other side of the thing. There are loads of women gamers that are out there, and their numbers are increasing. And it's not for them to be stereotyped into a hole either. Into a corner and say, all right, well, women gamers are this particular type or whatever. It really should be about community, about everybody gaming together and having fun and not pushing people into stereotypical roles, especially now in the 21st century. It really shouldn't be that way, especially when it comes to gaming.
And that's who the most vocal people were all of these the female gamers that I follow. They were just angry about this, and I get it. I mean, they probably heard it. Like I can't talk on that because I'm a guy and I've been playing games since I was in like kindergarten, pretty much. Like it's been something that's been part of my life forever. But for a long time, if you were a girl and you were a gamer, you were made fun of.
It's worse too. It's worse for them because a lot of them like to game a lot, and if they go and play multiplayer, if they identify as a female gamer, the first few questions are, how old are you? Do you have a picture that you can share? Hey, let's be friends. I mean, a lot of these girls who love to game get harassed just because they're female and they're gaming.
Yep.
And it's sad. Guys, lay it off, okay? Seriously. I mean, geez. I understand the appeal when it comes to, there's a girl gamer. And I'm single living. Here's a stereotype. I'm single living in my mom's basement. I'm going to try to get this girl to go out with me because she's a gamer too and she loves this game. Come on.
Yeah, but also there are groups that feed into that.
That's true
on
too.
purpose.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, there are full girl gaming clans, and all they are girls, and they always post pictures online that are always right on the edge of being inappropriate. And I mean, you can't. It's difficult because it's hard to say you can't have it. You shouldn't be able to have it both ways, and complain about being objectified when you're the one who's actively trying to become objectified.
Right. Well, so, and then the argument would come into play. Well, Joe, the reason why we have to have a female gaming team is because the majority of teams that are out there are already all male. So it's only fair for us to have an all-female team. I mean, those are the arguments
and that's
that are
fine.
thrown out.
I have no problem with it being an all-female team. The problem I have with it is when they go out of their way to objectify that team as, look at us, we're special because we're a girl team. If they were just straight up team, they happen to be all girls and they were really, really good, props to them. That's awesome.
I see what you're saying.
Behind that.
I see what you're saying. But if they're not using the identity, right.
Right. But if instead of saying we're a kick-ass gaming team, they're saying we're a kick-ass girl gaming team, that's a difference. Yeah. And that, I think, is a bigger problem.
Well, Microsoft, guess what? They did change the way the letter was manipulated after a lot of offended groups spoke out. Many different factions, not just women, but guys probably spoke out too. And good for you guys that did so. Really, when it comes down to gaming, it shouldn't matter what gender you are. It matters that you're gaming. That's really what it comes down to. Final story, talking about games this holiday season, Black Friday, no doubt, loads of games being sold out there on the market. And USDA Today, I hate top 10 lists or top 12 lists. And the only reason I hate them is because sometimes they completely miss the mark. And usually a lot of these articles are just hidden marketing pieces put in there by companies that pay to get into these lists. So that being said, take that for a grain of salt. We're going to go through this list, and then we're going to come up with our own. And I'm going to break this down by category just like they did. First thing they said, talk about the 12 games of Christmas. For kids, they got Disney Infinity, Skylanders Swap Force, and Super Mario, I can't even say this, Super Mario 3D World. I agree with the 3D World part. That game is great. There is one problem I have with this game. Go ahead, Lloyd. Do you know what? Let me see if you can predict it. What's the one problem I have with that game?
I don't know. To me, it's as close to a perfect game that has come out.
There is one issue. One issue. Just one. The one issue that I have with this game, okay, and Mike Matei, he does stuff with the Angry Video Game Nerd over at Cinemassacre, and he nailed it. He completely nailed it, and I don't have the video posted, but he talked about the white Tanuki suit. And the way, in case you didn't know, you guys, Super Mario 3D World is a phenomenal game. It's really vibrant, and it's everything that Mario is all about. However, there's parts of the game that are definitely hard. And if you fail a level, I believe it's 5 times in a row, like you die, then at the start of the level there's a block. And you get this block, and you get a golden leaf. And when you get the golden leaf, you get the white Tanuki suit. And Lloyd, what happens when you get the white Tanuki suit?
It's like you have star power.
Permanently for the whole level.
Yeah. You can still fall to your death.
Sure.
But you can't get hit by anything.
Now, go ahead.
I was going to say that this has been a feature of the Mario games for the last, the last 3 releases. And it's kind of a way that they make it easier for the kids that might be having problems with it.
You know what, though? Maybe I'm an old school gamer, but I remember, and this is what Mike was going on about. When I was growing up playing Super Mario Brothers, there was I think it was like 8-2, World 8-2. I just couldn't pass it. I just couldn't do it. There was no extra help. And you know what happens when I couldn't pass it? I put it down and I try it again later. And I go back to it later. And then eventually, after all 45, 50 lives, I finally push through, and you get that sense of accomplishment. You get that sense of happiness inside that, yes, I made it through. Nintendo is taking it away from me.
Yeah, I can see your argument there. I have kids, and I like the fact that this Tanuki suit exists because they see me breeze through a level and they get frustrated that they can't do that.
But
so
isn't
they
that
get
life a little bit though? A little bit.
It is, but games are supposed to be fun, and especially Nintendo games. And Nintendo, like Mario 3D World, from the time that I put it in and the intro screen came up to the time that I beat the final iteration of Bowser, I had a stupid grin across my face the whole entire time.
Right.
The game is pure distilled joy. They took all the joy in the world, put it in a big press, squoze it out to a bottle, and it's a bottle of joy that you get when you play this game. It is amazing.
It's good. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And the best thing about the Tanuki suit is if you don't want to use it, you don't take it.
Oh, I know that. I know Jay Huckabee says that too. But the thing is, I wish there was kids are going to take it. Kids are going to take it because they feel it's a part of the game. I just feel like it shouldn't even be there.
So you're upset that it's there because you think kids are going to use it, in addition to the fact that you didn't have such an opportunity when you were a kid playing the game.
Well, but here's the thing. When I go back and look in retrospect at Mario Brothers, I still loved the game, even though I died 45 times probably in a row trying to pass 8-2. But when I finally did, I got that sense of accomplishment that no Tanuki leaf could ever replace.
Right.
I mean, those are the things that are intangibles that I believe are being taken away, even if it's unintentional. And obviously, Nintendo wants everybody to have fun, and I get that. I completely get that. It's just that it'd be nice to not have it even show up because kids would be like, "Well, screw this. I'm going to do it because I want to get through this level."
Yeah. I think it comes back to the fact that Nintendo wants everybody that plays a Nintendo game to have the best time of their life, especially a Mario game.
Yeah.
They're going to leave it to all the third parties. If there are third parties on the Wii U, I can't remember if that's a thing on the Wii U or not.
Right.
But they're going to leave it to the third parties to make you hate yourself until you and they're going to give you the distilled joy in a bottle and Mario in a cat suit.
Well, it's definitely a shift though because obviously Mario games used to not be that way. I mean, even going into the Super Nintendo and the GameCube years and the Wii U years, there was a point that they made that shift. I know we're getting a little off base, but they made the shift and made things easier. And the joy and the happiness is still there. I think Super Mario 3, joy and happiness and sense of accomplishment still there. And those kind of things they were not there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
slowly with like the mid-level gates that you could pass that would have you not start at exactly the start of the level. You could continue halfway through, and it's just been a steady increase of how can we make this better for the user.
You are not allowed to feel bad when you play this game ever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I agree with Lloyd. I think our picks are Super Mario 3D World. Are there any games for kids, John or Joe, that you feel that kids would need to play this holiday season that is appropriate for kids? You guys have any thoughts, ideas?
I don't play too many. I mean, Super Mario 3D World is going to be probably the first game I've played that's in that category in
Infinity.
a long time. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's I can't think of any other games that really jump out and say to me that this is a great kids game. All the kids should be playing this game. Fun.
All right, and you're showing off, Lloyd. What was that? Infinity and Skylanders.
I agree wholeheartedly with this list for kids. My kids love Infinity. They love Skylanders. They love Mario. If there was other games that I could add, I would add pretty much anything on the 3DS that Nintendo's put out in the last little while. They're all great titles for kids. And Minecraft is an awesome title.
Hey, that's a good one.
Whether it's on your 360, it's going to be on your PS3 and your PS4 soon. Get it on the PC, get it on your iPad, get it on whatever, your Android phone. It's the new era Lego. And I think it's a really great thing for kids.
I was over at my friend's house showing him the Xbox One a few days ago, and his daughters were playing. So when I walked in with the Xbox One, unprovoked, his daughter was watching Minecraft Me on the computer,
Nice.
and they've been getting to play it on the iPhone on the Pocket Edition, and I said they started asking me about the 360 editions and stuff, and I'm like, well, you have a computer right there, why can't you play it on the computer? And so I gifted them one. I got them I bought them a account, and the computer that they were playing on was an HP touchscreen, the first generation HP touchscreen computer, and it uses a mobile Intel graphics chip, and it's so old that it wouldn't even run Minecraft. We made some hacks happen, but yeah, no, I mean that's the beauty of a lot of these games is you get more and more kids involved, especially Lego Minecrafts and all that fun stuff. I'm going to go through this list real quickly because we're running short on time. But some of the other games here that are on the list, some sports titles. You got NBA 2K14, FIFA 14, Marvel's Superheroes Lego, which is great. I don't know why they put this under teens. I can really see Lloyd doing this. Just Dance 2014. Forza Motorsport 5. Need for Speed Rivals, which is a great game. And then for adults, you got Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, Dead Rising 3, and Grand Theft Auto 5. It's nice to see USA Today not shy away from Grand Theft Auto. I think that's a really powerful title for adults. It's a fun game. Still no word yet on the PC version, but hopefully sometime this century, because I'd love to see that on the computer and play fun. And another title, I know it's not on the list, and it kind of shouldn't be on the list until it's complete, and that is Battlefield 4.
Yeah,
I like it a lot, but it crashes, or you lose sound, or I mean, there's all these weird hiccups that I think.
Yeah, it's almost like they should have had a beta period to work out some of these problems or something.
Joe, this just in, I'm reading it now. Mm-hmm. They had a beta period.
That wasn't a beta. That was an early demo.
That was in-house, wasn't it?
That was an in-house demo. Yes. So there you go.
And all the in-house machines are the exact same make, model, build of hardware.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh man, man, that's it. That's it for the show. Time flies when you're having fun. First off, I want to say a big thanks to this gentleman right here, Mr. Lloyd Hannison from the beautiful, great north of Canada, Winnipeg. Jets fan through and through.
Yes.
And a Mario fan, and he's got a Mac back there, so we like him still.
I'm only Mac in this house, so you'll probably like me.
Wait, you're only Mac? Really?
Yeah. I don't have a PC in this house anymore. My last PC died, so it's all Mac. Macs as far as the eye can see.
Wow. And for some reason I'm having issue. Maybe it's my browser. Maybe my browser is just dying on me. There we go. I was trying to pull up VG podcasts. There you go.
Oh, thanks for that.
The bonus day. Oh, so you talked about NBA 2K14, huh?
Yeah, reviewed it. My partner on that show reviewed it. Great game. Yeah, we do a lot of shows at VGPodcast.com, Nintendo Pulse on Nintendo. We do the bonus stage, which is our kind of a weekly kind of all things gaming. That is not for the kids because we do go a little blue in that.
What?
That show. Yeah, it's us Canadians swearing. It's kind of weird. Then we do Touch of Gaming, which is the iOS, iPhone, and iPad gaming show. So we cover a lot of stuff. There's going to be some big changes in the new year as far as show topics and other things. But we've been doing it for quite some time, and we love doing it. So, but yeah, thanks for having me on the show again, Chase. This has been a lot of fun yet again. I love hanging out with you guys.
Oh, it's always fun, and I understand when it comes to changes. 2014 is going to be a big change in year for us as well. Mr. Joseph Falby, my great co-host and friend in the Minecraft world. Also, he's a great squad mate in Battlefield 4. I mean, he's right there with the health packs. What am I saying? He just leaves me in the dust. No, just kidding. But Joe,
well, I do now.
Yeah, I bet you do. But he is also our 3D printing expert, so I can't wait to see more 3D printing items from him. Have you been printing much lately?
I haven't. I've just been busy with other things and haven't gotten into doing any more. There's a few things I do want to try, but I have a few ideas for GoPro mounts. I want to.
Oh
do some
yeah,
GoPro
good call.
Things. So,
especially keep them off the desk so they don't get wet.
Well, this one's fine. It's a GoPro, right? So it should be fine.
As long as it was. Well, I thought it wasn't in the case though.
It wasn't in the watertight case, but it's still fine. It's great.
And you're on Twitter. I encourage. And by the way, I forgot to mention Lloyd here is on Twitter. You can follow him at Dasme at DASME. You can follow Joe on Twitter at Falbey FALBEY. He tweets very, very rarely. So when he does tweet, it's very, very important. This guy's not on Twitter.
Nope.
But he's a good friend, and he's a good squad mate. We've been leveling up over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. John Kessler. Thanks, John.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys want to, you can follow me on Twitter at Nunes, Nunes. I do encourage you guys to follow the network on Twitter at Geek Gamer TV. You'll know when we're going live for shows and special events and things of that nature. And by the way, speaking of new changes in 2014, there will be changes in 2014 with the website. But right now, it still looks good in my opinion. You can find our show, Geek Gamer Weekly. You can watch our shows live, Minecraft Me, special event coverage like CES, PAX, and E3. All that stuff is right here. And we have an awesome community forum. We love community and gaming with you guys. So if you have a chance and opportunity, head over to our site, click on forums, and sign up. And we'll game with you. Unlike other shows out there that maybe don't like to game with their fans, we love it. We have fun. If you're watching live, hang out because we'll take your calls after the show. For all of our panelists and coming from me, thank you so much. Have a great one. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week for another edition of Geek Gamer Weekly. Until we all talk again, we are all silent. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Ernest Hemingway.